Okay, Google. What is the weather outside?
It's 54 degrees and mostly cloudy in Brooklyn.
Alright guys, we're back with another one. And this is the comparison between the Huawei Nexus 6P and the LG Nexus 5X. So, the Nexus 6P, Huawei is the new kid on the block making a Nexus. And I must say, Huawei did a nice job, a very fine job. First, taking a look at the phone, I thought this was an ugly phone. This visor at the top totally took away all feeling that this will be an awesome phone. Huawei has proved me wrong. The community has proved me wrong. I knew LG would make a fantastic Nexus, and they definitely delivered here. This Nexus 5X is absolutely beautiful phone. It is awesome. LG can definitely make a phone for me anytime. So both these Nexus I really like, but only one of these Nexus can win my heart and be that winner. Now, we both know LG makes a very nice Nexus. They really know how to make a Nexus phone. Huawei has really outdid themselves with the Nexus 6P. Now, to talk aesthetically and how the phone looks, to me they both look awesome, but in two different ways. You have the premium, high class looking, I got your attention type look here. This is the businessman's phone. This is the phone that grabs all the attention. This is the phone with its beautiful metal design, its curves. Is just a nice looking phone. The only gripe that I may have with it is in the front. I feel these bezels are too big. Is it because of the speaker drivers? Is it because they was trying to get a look or having big bezels so you can hold the phone real comfortable? I don't know. But the 5X pretty much ran with that same front look of the bigger bezels than we're used to, but they're not that big. Don't get me wrong, these bezels are not big with both phones. A matter of fact, if you put them up side by side, if we can do that, the bezels are pretty much the same size. I would say maybe the LG bezels are a little bit smaller, but it's for a smaller phone. The polycarbonate build, plastic, but polycarbonate build, rubberized texture here. It doesn't feel like a cheaply made phone. It doesn't feel like this is plastic just to be cheap. This feels like they was trying to get a feel and they got it here. They got a nice grippy feel. So I appreciate both designs, but if I have to give one design the winner, I would honestly have to go with the 6P because the design is so well done. It really looks good. But I feel when it's all said and done, 2 years from now, we're going to appreciate and love the look of this phone even more. Now, one thing I got to say about both phones, in the back, they don't grab no fingerprints. You can rub this all you want with your greasy fingers. You'll be able to wipe down these phones and keep it real nice and clean. Now, so you don't have to worry about fingerprints on the back with these two phones. Now, let's talk about the cameras. The cameras, a lot of you guys are going to argue with me, but I'm going to tell you right now, they're both 12.3 megapixel cameras, but I feel the Nexus 6P camera is tuned a little bit more to be a little bit more better in some type of way. So far, I feel the Nexus 6P somehow got a little bit more emphasis when it comes to the camera software than the Nexus 5X. The Nexus 5X is right there, but it's a little bit behind the 6P. I can't explain it, But you guys tell me in the comments if you was finding the same situation. Now, while we're still in the back, the flash. Both of them have a dual flash and they're very bright and they work. Now, the laser autofocusing on the LG, it seems to be the focusing on both is very well, but I believe LG might have it a tad bit better. Now, I'm no expert, but I would definitely say with these cameras, it's definitely going to be subjective between both. But I do feel they take some incredible shots. Now, as the big deal is the cameras, the front camera on the 6P is better than the 5X because you're talking 8 megapixels versus 5. End of that story. Another thing that's controversial is the front firing speakers. Now, the 5X got a pretty good mono speaker at the bottom, which it should be dual, but it's not. It's one speaker driver at the bottom. But the 6P. The 6P front one speaker matches up with the 5X and probably surpasses it. The two of them is awesome. Full stereo speakers that just don't sound loud. It got quality behind it. It definitely, the speakers definitely sound awesome on the 6P. If you're looking for great speaker quality, you can't go wrong with the 6P. It surpassed boom sound. No doubt about it. Now, they both rocking USB-C, fast charging, and it works. USB-C pretty much kills micro USB by a long shot. No matter which way you go, you just plug it in. That's USB-C. So it just works. Now, when it comes to the audio jack, Huawei's decided to go to the top on the 6P, and the 5X decided to go at the bottom. Now, unfortunately, plugging this in at the bottom seems to be an issue for me. Maybe I got a bad unit, but you have to push it in too hard. I don't like to rough up my phones, man. These are beautiful pieces of technology that I don't like them to see them scratched up or broken. So, but the output on both of them is pretty good, but I feel the output on the 6P might be a tad better. You know, plugging in your headphones and taking a phone call comes a little bit more better. You're a little bit more, people hear you a little bit better with the 6P. So with that, I got to give it to the 6P. So the speakers, we got to give it to the 6P. The fast charging, a matter of fact, the battery life. The battery life on the 6P is far more superior than the 5X because they both rocking the doze feature. So in other words, when the phone is asleep, it's not wasting no power. But the bigger battery is in the 6P. So the 6P is definitely going to last longer than the 5X. So if you want to hear more detail, watch the review videos. Now, the aesthetics of the phone, I got to give it to the 6P. But this visor doesn't take away from the look at all. Doesn't. And I think the fingerprint scanners in the front brings you those dimples like that's on the Nexus. Your hand just gravitate to these back fingerprint scanners. Your finger just gravitates there anyway. So it's a good place for it to be. So as I put my finger on both, you're going to see they just open right up. And it works every time. So I could just imagine, you know, how well it's going to be doing the Android Pay on a day-to-day basis. How nice it feels to just whip out your phone and make a payment. Now, let's talk about the processors. This is rocking the Snapdragon 810. It's version 2 of the 810, and the phone does get warm. But the phone doesn't get hot at all. The phone gets warm, the metal gets warm. So it, you know, it feels a little warm, but not no more warm than any other phone. iPhone got hotter, but other than that, every other phone, you know, it gets warm just like any other phone. It's fine. The Nexus, honestly, I haven't felt this phone get warm yet. You know, under all the usage that I put this phone through, I haven't felt it get warm yet. But this 808, I'm telling you, this 808 is running with the 810 like they was both the same. I think the processor game is over. 2 gigs of RAM versus 3 gigs of RAM. Of course, it's going to be a little bit better with 3 gigs of RAM, but it's hardly noticeable. Very much hardly noticeable. I think they both perform equally. You know, 1080p, Quad HD. Now the phone going to work a little bit harder with Quad HD, but like I said, they perform equally. When it comes to the OS, they're equal. So at the end, you guys know which phone is overall going to win out. And that is the Nexus 6P. The reason why? Better front firing speakers, better overall camera, better screen, a little bit more luxury of a feel of a build. But one-handed use, I got to give it to the 5X. They're both a buy. They're both bargain price. You're talking $499 versus $429. All it is which one you prefer. Me personally, I need more storage than 32. So for me, it will be the phone that can give me more storage. But to have this phone, just to have it as a backup device, is definitely worth it. So at the end of this, we give it to the 6P. But these are both awesome devices. A definite recommend on both. LG, Huawei, you did a good job. You guys brought us the best Nexuses money can buy. See you guys in the next one.